Hello, I'm Malaya, your inside guide here in the Philippines, telling you the truths your sweet Filipina girlfriend is too polite or too smart to ever mention. Let's address the elephant in the room. Stop thinking your gray hair or those extra years are a burden. In my culture, your age is your greatest tactical advantage. It represents the finished building, stable, solid, and reliable. But here is the cold, hard truth that might sting. Your Western gentleman logic, that naive idea that love and finances live in separate worlds, that is exactly what will leave you bankrupted and bitter by month 3. If you are still chasing a Disney fairy tale where the money talk never happens, do us both a favor. Close this video and go back to Florida. I am here for the realistic man who wants a loyal, beautiful woman by his side without being treated like a disposable credit card. Today, I am exposing the invisible entrance fee of Philippine dating. I'm going to reveal why her cousin's emergency is actually a calculated test of your strength, not just a request for a handout. Stay with me, because I am handing you the 3 unwritten laws that separate the men who get genuine, lifelong devotion from the walking ATMs who get discarded the moment the ink dries. Your future happiness and your hard-earned legacy depend on you hearing what comes next. Don't be the fool, be the king. I know exactly what happened the moment you stepped off that plane in Manila. The heat hits you. The smell of jasmine and salt is in the air, and suddenly, every woman you pass has a smile that makes you feel 30 years younger. It's intoxicating, isn't it? After decades of being treated like you're invisible or past your prime back home, you finally feel like a king. You think you found a secret paradise where being a good guy with a solid pension actually means something. But I need you to take a deep breath and listen closely. That tropical daydream is a carefully crafted stage play designed specifically for men like you. For many of the girls you see on those dating apps, romance isn't a fairy tale, it's a career path. In your world, a date is just a dinner. In hers, it's a potential solution for her brother's tuition or her mother's roof. You aren't just a man to her, you are a life-changing event. The smiles are often real, but the pressure behind them is a weight you can't even imagine. And look, I'm not telling you this to scare you away. It's not your fault that you've fallen for the emotional theater. You are a man of honor. You've spent 40 years building a legacy, working hard, and playing by the rules, only to find that the modern dating market in the West discarded you the moment your hair turned gray. I see the weariness you carry. I know you're tired of the loneliness, the cold houses, and the games. You just want a woman who values your experience and offers genuine warmth. It's only natural to want to believe the fantasy when the reality back home was so bitter. You've been playing a game where the rules were kept hidden from you, but that ends today. I'm here to be the sister who protects your heart and your legacy contributions, so you can finally find the peace you've earned. Give me an okay to proceed to the next block. To understand why your heart and your wallet are so tightly intertwined in the Philippines, I need you to visualize a traditional barangay fiesta. Picture the scene. The air is thick with the scent of jasmine and wood smoke. Colorful banners are waving in the tropical breeze, and at the center of the table sits a massive, golden brown lechon, the legendary roast pig that signifies ultimate success. Notice where you are sitting. You are at the head of the table. You are the guest of honor. Everyone is smiling. The music is loud, and the family is bringing you the crispiest, most succulent piece of that pig. It's a level of VIP treatment and genuine warmth you haven't felt in decades back in the West. But here is the cultural anchor you must grasp. In my world, the guest of honor is never just a guest. He is the patron of the harmony. In the West, you were raised on the idea of going Dutch. You like things to be fair and equal. But here, the person with the most life experience and resources is expected to be the one who ensures the music never stops and the rice bin is never empty. You aren't purchasing a woman's soul, you are sponsoring a delicate ecosystem. If you take the seat of honor, enjoy the finest meat, and then try to apply your fairness logic when the bill for the beer arrives, the celebration dies instantly. The smiles vanish, the warmth evaporates, and the emotional theater closes its curtains. You become a Scrooge in a land that values generosity as the highest form of love. This is the invisible entrance fee. To have the young, beautiful wife who treats your word as law, you must accept your role as the sponsor of the feast. You must be the finished building that provides the shade everyone wants to sit under. Accept this, and you'll never be a fool. You'll be a legend. Give me an okay to proceed to the next block. Now that you understand your seat at the head of the table, let's peel back the skin of the lechon and look at the real meat of how this game is played. To keep that seat, and more importantly, to keep the girl looking at you with that intoxicating mix of desire and respect, you must master the 3 unwritten laws of the Philippine dating market. Law number 1, the utang na loob economy. In your world, you say I love you with flowers or a Hallmark card. In our world, especially for a girl coming from a humble provincial background, love is a verb that is spelled Provide. You need to understand the hidden truth. She doesn't see your wealth as a separate pile of cash. She sees it as a stability contribution to her entire ecosystem. If her roof is leaking and you have a solid pension, and you choose to do nothing because you want to see if she loves you for you, she doesn't think you're being wise. She thinks you are heartless. She thinks you are a kuripot, a stingy man who lacks the soul of a provider. To her, a man who doesn't protect her family from the rain isn't a man who will protect her in the bedroom when things get difficult. Think about the emergency text you probably already received or will receive soon. Her cousin's water buffalo is sick, or her niece needs a specific school uniform. This is the classic legacy test. She isn't just asking for money, she is gauging your status as a patron. If you react with Western logic and ask for receipts or start a lecture on financial responsibility, you've already lost. You've signaled that you are a difficult, high-maintenance guest of honor. But here is how you turn the tables. Stop waiting for the emergencies. Take the lead. Set a fixed, monthly family support legacy early on. By doing this, you aren't a victim of her family's whims. You are the director of the budget. You tell her, "This is the amount I've allocated to ensure our harmony." It keeps you in total control. It stops the midnight frantic messages, and it makes you look like the finished building, the man who has everything under control. This leads us to law number 2, the tampo negotiation. This is where most Western men lose their minds and their dignity. Tampo is that specific Filipino silence, the pouting, the withdrawn affection, the sudden lack of sweet nectar in the evening. In the West, you've been trained to ignore a sulking woman. You think, "I'll just wait until she's rational again." But in the Philippines, if you ignore tampo, you are essentially telling her that her feelings have no market value. The hidden truth is that tampo is a strategic audit of your emotional investment. She is checking to see if you still care enough to pay the re-entry fee into her good graces. I've seen men wait for weeks, growing bitter and cold, while the girl is just waiting for a sign that he's still her king. You might think she's being manipulative, but she's actually just checking the cultural alignment of the relationship. When she gets quiet because you didn't buy her that specific dress, or because you spent too much time talking to your friends back home, don't argue. Arguments are for 20-year-old boys. Instead, perform a small gesture of appreciation. A special meal, a small token of peace, or taking her for a drive to the garden where you can enjoy the scent of the tropical flowers together. This isn't rewarding bad behavior. It's maintenance. It's the oil that keeps the machine running. By providing this emotional reconciliation, you regain access to the private suite without losing your status. By the way, if you're finding that these cultural nuances are a bit overwhelming, I've put together a specialized Manila Secrets guide in my newsletter. It contains the exact scripts you can use to set these boundaries without offending her family or losing that sparkle in her eyes. It's completely free, and it's where I share the extra spicy tips I can't talk about here. The link is in the description. Join the men who are actually winning. Now, let's talk about the most dangerous audit of all. Law number 3, the barkada and family vetting. You think you are dating a beautiful 25-year-old girl. You aren't. You are being audited by a board of directors consisting of her mother, her auntie, and her 3 best friends. If this board decides that you are a short-term tourist rather than a long-term security asset, they will whisper in her ear every single night until she leaves you for a younger man or a more generous foreigner. The hidden truth here is that a young Filipina's loyalty is often a collective decision. If the mother doesn't see social circle integration, she will view you as a predator rather than a protector. I've seen men spend thousands on jewelry for the girl, only to be dumped because they treated the mother like a servant. Here is your tactical instruction. Win the mother first. A sack of rice for the family home, or paying for the community feast once a year, buys you more genuine devotion and bedroom access than a diamond ring ever will. When the mother is on your side, she becomes your greatest ally. She will be the one telling the girl to be extra sweet to you when you're tired. She will ensure your mango is always ripe and ready to be tasted. Invest in the community respect, and you'll find that the girl becomes a loyal shield for your heart. But here is the most shocking revelation of all, the one that most men realize too late. The real danger isn't her leaving you once she has your stability contribution. The real danger is her staying when she has lost respect for you. If you are too soft, if you say yes to every single request like a desperate puppy, she will categorize you as a weak provider. In the Filipino psyche, a man who cannot say no to a greedy relative is a man who cannot protect her from the world. To keep her love, you must be a firm patron. You must be the finished building, stable, solid, and not easily moved by every tropical breeze. Your age is your master status. Don't try to act like a young boy trying to please her. Act like the king of the fiesta who knows exactly where his limits are. When you say no with a smile and a firm hand, she doesn't get angry, she gets secure. She knows she is with a man who can actually lead. But here is where we reach the most uncomfortable truth of all, the plot twist that most of you are too proud to admit. You spend every waking hour terrified that she is scamming you for your hard-earned pension. But have you ever considered that the biggest scammer in this relationship might be your own ego? You've been told for years back home that your age makes you a has-been. So you come here and use your wallet like a shield, saying yes to every ridiculous request just to keep her smiling. You think you're buying devotion, but you are actually bankrupting her respect. The most powerful tool in your arsenal isn't your bank balance, it's your willingness to walk away. If you can't say no to a greedy relative or an unreasonable demand, you aren't a provider, you're a target. In the Filipino psyche, a woman needs a finished building, a man who is stable and unmoving. If you act like a desperate boy trying to please her, she will categorize you as a weak patron. The real danger isn't her leaving you once she has your stability contribution. The real tragedy is her staying because she needs the support, while secretly despising the man who provides it. There is no colder bed than one shared with a woman who has lost her respect for you. She will serve the rice and play the part, but the sweet nectar will taste like obligation, not desire. You don't get the right mango by being a pushover. You get it by being a king who knows his worth. Sometimes, the only way to win her heart is to show her you're willing to lose her if she doesn't respect your boundaries. Be the pillar, or you'll just be the floor she walks on. Don't be the walking ATM, be the finished building she can finally lean on. I know I've just poured some cold, tropical rain on your daydream, but I didn't do it to discourage you. I did it because I want you to be the man who actually wins. Don't let the reality of these invisible fees make you cynical or bitter. The truth is, the Philippines remains the most beautiful place on earth for a man with a good heart and a bit of wisdom. For every girl looking for a shortcut, there are 10,000 loyal, traditional, and incredibly affectionate women who are praying for a man exactly like you. They aren't looking for a flashy boy with no soul. They are looking for the finished building. Your 60 years aren't a decline, they are your absolute peak. Your age represents a level of stability, respect, and emotional depth that a 20-year-old boy simply cannot offer. You have a lifetime of stories and a legacy of hard work that makes you the ultimate prize in our culture. You are a king, and you deserve a queen who treats your word as her compass. Now that I've shown you where the traps are hidden, you can navigate this paradise with total confidence. You've earned your seat at the head of the table. The warmth, the peace, and the genuine devotion you've been searching for are all waiting for you. Now that you know how to lead, you're finally ready to find them. I've given you the map to the treasure, but you're the one who has to walk the path. Now, tell me, have you already faced that first cousin's emergency test? Or are you still waiting for the tampo silence to hit? Share your story in the comments. We are building a brotherhood here where no good man is left to navigate these waters alone. My mission is simple: to help honorable men like you find the genuine warmth you've earned, making this world a little less lonely. If my words saved your heart or your legacy today, consider supporting my work. A small thanks helps me grab a bucket of Jollibee Chicken Joy for my family, or a cold bottle of San Miguel Pale Pilsen after a long day. It keeps the truth flowing. Stay sharp, stay respected, and always stay the king. Good luck!